Welcome back to Module 6. My name's Andrew from Core Confidence Coaching here in Melbourne. And if this is your first time tuning in, we are a dating and relationship coaching company based here in Melbourne, Australia. And in this module, what we're going to cover is a client of ours that finished our 4-week coaching program online and also downloaded the Art of Great Text Game ebook, which you can find on this page in the description below. I'll talk about that in a second, but this client of ours, he basically started at a level 0 to a level 1 of text game. No understanding of it at all. And just from reading the book at least 10 to 15 times, applying the principles and strategies that we put into this ebook, and this was his result after a couple of days, just a little under 1 week. And we were very impressed when we did our first coaching session with this client because, again, going from a level 0 to at least a level 5 within a couple of days, that was very impressive. We coached him for 4 weeks and he did really well. He's almost at an advanced level right now. But what you'll see in this module is it's a very interesting situation. And I feel if you're new to the dating game or new to dating apps, you will definitely come across this scenario. So this girl, she basically doesn't give him much investment whatsoever. She gives him very little. You'll see in the next couple of minutes what actually happens, but she gives him very little. She challenges him consistently throughout the whole conversation, and you'll see he basically busts down her walls and he gets through and gets her emotionally connected and a lot more invested by the end of the conversation. And then he goes for a number exchange, or I believe he did an Instagram detail exchange. So enjoy the training video and I'll see you at the very end. So starting at the start, you can see that our student here reacted to the girl's profile, one of the statements in her profile, which is, I get along best with people who have a good sense of humor. And the good thing about Hinge is you can do these things. You can react to their profile and it doesn't give away too much. You can see where our student did this. It was at 11:32 a.m. in the morning. And you can see the interesting thing is this girl actually invited him to start chatting literally 12 hours later. Now, one little fine detail to look into this is that messaging girls on dating apps isn't necessarily the best thing around lunchtime. It's better off at nighttime when they're a lot freer and they can actually reply back. So anyway, she invited him to start chatting and he responded the next day, I know we've only just met, but you strike me as a strawberry bubble tea type of girl. Now that's quite funny, being that this student of ours is Caucasian and the girl is Asian on Hinge. So what he's done here is he's playfully stereotyped the girl in a very cutesy way, which is not bad. And the thing to point out with his opener, it's a cold opener. He's being creative and he's using visual imagery to make himself stand out, as opposed to what most guys would send. Hi, how are you? How's your day going? How are you doing during lockdown? Whereabouts are you from? What's your nationality? He's doing something that's, again, very creative. A type of message that girls usually wouldn't see on a day-to-day basis. And we speak about this in our Art of Great Text Game guide. Whenever you do a cold opener, you want to be creative. Don't just use standard openers that every other guy has used. Visual imagery can create emotional investment for the girl and stand out by being different than every other guy that's sending her messages on a day-to-day basis. And you can see by her response, you strike me as a cup of espresso kind of guy. She's basically playing along and falling into his framework, which is fantastic. Now our student, I'll only reveal true or not if go first, wink face, and if you. So looking at that, yes, we touch on this again in our guide. It's very important to proofread before you send your messages. These tiny little 1%ers add up in the end. And what he's done here is he's matched her investment with the size of the message. And he's continually talking in statements, which is great. It's better than questions, because one of the things you want to avoid when using dating apps is falling into the interviewer frame and asking a whole bunch of questions to really make a platonic conversation happen. However, with this student's statement, he could have taken it a lot further than what he typed. Like a better response could have been, how dare you stereotype me, with a emoticon at the end, to make sure she knows it's playful than him being upset. Now, the funny thing behind that type of message would get a reaction from her and invested a lot more because he basically stereotyped her, but he's acting as if she's the one stereotyping him because he's Caucasian and most Caucasian guys love espressos. And one area where this student could have improved on in his message is he didn't give her much of a message for her to respond with. He used a closed-ended question, and you can see by her response, unfortunately, you're wrong. And his response, well, win some, lose some. You're spot on about espresso always black. Okay, again, you need to look at your messages and proofread them before you send them to make sure that they make sense, the grammar's correct, and also the spelling. It's a very common one for people to get wrong with espresso and espresso. One more thing I will add is Hinge tends to have a bit of a fault where it double sends the same message for some reason. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen, so don't freak out. And when you look at his responses, he could have done a lot better here. He's just throwing random quotes at her. Well, win some, lose some. Like, it's not very creative. And you can see her response, she's giving very little investment. But if I was to say, this girl probably finds him attractive and gives him points for being a good-looking guy. However, that's one of the reasons why she's probably responding, but she's not giving him much. At this point, most girls would have given up by now and just ghosted the guy. So you can tell she's semi-interested. Now, our student's response to her message is, I'm gonna have to beat you in something else to get even, with a wink face. He obviously knows he's losing the battle here and she's giving him very low investment. So what he's basically done is he's trying to get the conversation going again, but using different approaches. And you can see he's continually throwing random quotes at her, which is not a very good thing. You know what they say, dreams eventually become reality. All right, that's not really a good message. So she's going to just continually give him bland messages if he keeps this up. But anyway, let's look at this. Fast forward. If I win, we do the honeymoon Greece. Look at this message, guys. We've touched on this about 3 times now in this text game breakdown. Proofread your messages, look for spelling errors, and especially look out for grammar mistakes. But what he's done here in this message, he's displayed something really good, which is something, again, we speak about in the Art of Great Text game. Creating narratives. Creating narratives is really good because it controls the framework. However, how he could have improved in this message is demonstrated more confidence. He didn't do this, unfortunately. He said, if I win, a confident man should have said, when I win. It's more playful and it's more sexier that way. And you'll definitely get a better reaction from a girl when you demonstrate confidence. Her response? Sure thing, I'd like to see you try though. Now what she's doing here is she's consistently challenging him every single message almost. And the only way to break through this barrier that this particular girl is putting up is to challenge her back and control the frame, because there's a power play going on here. And if at any point our student becomes too submissive in the messaging, well, he's basically lost and she's going to disappear. So again, he's matched her investment. I'll thrash her at cooking, which again, using emoticon makes it more playful. And she knows that, she sees it. He's challenged her now. And you can see by her response, she's challenging him back by doubting him. And again, he's maintained the frame of his text game by responding, did I stutter? I ain't playing around. So what he's doing by challenging her and maintaining the frame in the text game is he's demonstrating to her that he can handle her. Her response? I'd say bring it on, but quarantine. And he replies, haha, I'll let you off on that excuse. So although he's made a fair few mistakes previously, he's flipping the table here by giving her little investment, challenging her, demonstrating that he can handle her. And when you look at her response, she's investing a lot more because the whole time she was barely giving him anything. So her response, if anything, you're the one that should be grateful cause I totally smash ya. So what she's doing here, she's trying to take back the control of the conversation, take back the power, control the frame. And our student's doing really good at this point because he's controlling the frame the whole time, maintaining it and not putting up with her bullshit basically. Talk is cheap. If I agreed to go on a date with you, once lockdown's over, we gonna have a series of little comps. At this point, this is the 4th time he's failed to proofread, so he could have done a little bit better in this regards. Because it is a simple little thing, but it's very effective, just when you get your grammar and spelling correct. And what he's done here is pretty good because he's planted the seed of the idea of there being future dates. And by her response, you can see that she's opened up a lot more now. He's basically broken through her bullshit. What makes you think that you're the one holding the decision to go out on a date with me? Isn't it the other way around? With a bit of a cheeky smiley face. Again, she's trying to regain control of the frame here. Our student's response: don't be surprised with my high, way too high, lol, opinion of myself. I bet I can also beat you at having a cooler Instagram profile. He's done something pretty cool here. It's very, very cheeky. It's a good way of seeding for the number close or the exchange of details. And again, he's maintaining the frame control. Now, by her response, you can kind of see she doesn't really care. She gives him an indifference type of response. And his response: great to finally see a bit of humility shown on your side, which is a bit of a playful tease and sparking a bit of emotion. And with her reply: I know, I'm surprised myself. What she's actually doing now is falling into his frame. She's not fighting him, not challenging anymore, which is a great sign. Now with his reply, he did overdo it a little bit with the compliment. You're a better person, well done. It's okay, but again, you don't want to ever give your power away too soon and too easy. Now with her reply, she's like, easy now with the compliment. So what he's done on his response to that is he's basically called her out. Again, maintaining the frame control, displaying that he can handle her, and now you basically have her reacting to him. And fast forwarding, you can see he's kept up the playful challenges that he's been throwing at her, which has now successfully flipped things around from the beginning. And it's got her investing into him. Even with the response, hate me that much already, not yet at least. When she says, soon then, she definitely is keen. And you can see by her last message, she's heavily invested. She's giving him more now than he's actually giving her. Well, I hope you certainly enjoyed case study number 6. Again, there's a lot to take away from this video training. This client of ours, you can see how he broke down the barriers of her giving very little investment, how he dealt with her challenges consistently, right? Every message she gave was a consistent challenge. And also the improvements that our client could have made. So obviously he was brand new and there's always room for improvement. I really hope that you took a lot of the principles and mistakes that he went through in his texting, and you can also apply that in your future text messages, whether using Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, or Plenty of Fish, or any other dating apps. So if you haven't downloaded your copy of the Art of Great Text Game yet, you can simply scroll down to the description below of this video, click on the link, you can download your own copy, and you also get case study number 1, 2, and 3 with it. So it'll really help explain and reinforce all the principles in this text game guide. So I hope you really enjoyed this training module, and I'll see you next time on our case study number 7.